Regulating the price of cement, research say, can have both positive and negative impacts on the construction industry and the economy as a whole. On the positive side, it can stabilize construction costs, making projects more predictable for developers and investors. This in turn may encourage more construction activity, boosting economic growth and job creation. In Nigeria, for instance, the price of a 50 kg bag of cement surged to approximately 13,000 naira in several retail stores, indicating the impact of inflation within the country. Findings reveal that factory price, which is also known as the ex-depot, a bag of cement is sold at 8,500 naira, and the price hike is attributed to the increase by distributors reselling to retailers at an escalating inflation rates. Now, the federal government and the manufacturers of cement met over the escalating price of cement to brainstorm on the challenges facing cement manufacturing. Several issues were factored in, including cost of gas, high cost of import duty on spare parts, high exchange rate, and several other challenges confronting the manufacturers. After due consideration by the cement manufacturers and federal government, both agreed that the price of cement be slashed to the neighborhood of 7,000 to 8,000 naira to ease the burden on Nigerians. Good as the arrangement is seen, the question arising among Nigerians are what factors are driving the high cost of cement in Nigeria, more so when the entire raw materials are sourced locally. How can governments effectively regulate the price of cement to ensure affordability for consumers? What are the potential economic impacts of implementing price control on cement? Well, these are some of the issues that we're looking at in today's program. Thanks for joining us. I am Ikeria Clinton. Welcome to Nigeria Today. Joining us here in the studio to shed more light on the regulating price of cement is Engineer Kashim Ali. Is a former president, Council for Regulation of Engineers in Nigeria, COREN, and also the former president, Nigeria Society of Engineers, NSE. You're welcome to Nigeria Today.
Thank you very much.
It's good
Good
to
evening.
have you. It's good to have you with us. Engineer Kashim, I would like you to, open our eyes to the consequences of the sustained increase in price.
There's no reason for this drastic increase. There could be some increase, but not this drastic. And as far as I'm concerned, this drastic increase derives from greed and an attempt to pauperize Nigerians the more. And I can explain. For instance, if I even take a cue from the meeting the ministers held with the manufacturers, you see, they brought in conditions that they know the government cannot meet, even if they try. A key example, they say the cost of gas. Gas in Nigeria is an international product, and most of it has been sold out. Like LNLG, we're supposed to be on train 12 now. We're still on 6, going to 7. So you can see that there's underproduction of gas in Nigeria, and there's not even enough for the thermal electricity plants. So where would they get the extra gas to give them at a reduced price? The electricity companies that are gas-based, they don't have gas. They have to pay before they can get gas. And that's why we have some of these problems we have with our power supply. So is it that one that they will go and give to them at a reduced price? They know that government cannot achieve that. Number two, they are talking about the road. Road repairs is not something you do in a few days. It takes a long time. But come to think of it, the irony of it all, who damaged the roads? Who damaged the roads? The roads were damaged by the cement manufacturers. They have their trucks that are over the approved level tonnage allowed on our roads, and they have been part of the destruction. They are using it as a condition now. Who would do that for them? And at all? So for me, I think
can we really prove that they are the people that really
they are provable. No, they are records of their vehicles that
really?
are more than the required tonnage that they are put on the roads. They are records. Federal Road Safety Commission will have it. Federal Ministry of Works will have it. They have those things. If they say they don't have it, they won't be honest with themselves. They know it.
Okay, they are not here really to defend themselves on that. So let's just talk about the issues. Yeah.
So I mean, I use those as just those two out of it. Reducing the custom tariff or tariff on those things are not things you can achieve immediately. And they have been there. They have been there. They didn't affect the prices. Why are they affecting the prices at this moment?
Okay, I will have to stop you here so that we'll bring in our second guest, joining us via Zoom from Oka, Anambra State. Is quantity surveyor Adewumi Akinpelu. Is a former Secretary General, Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, MNIQS. He's also the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of QSM Integrated Services Limited. It's a pleasure to have you on Nigeria today.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Good evening, viewer.
So, now, just like we're talking about regulating the price of cement, Mr. Adewumi, so what are, in your opinion, what are some of the factors that are driving the costs of, driving the high cost of cement in Nigeria?
Thank you very much. I will not want to go to the political side, but as a quantity surveyor, I want to let us know that there are a lot of factors, there are a lot of the costs that are driving the cost of cement in Nigeria. We have the raw materials, energy cost, labor cost, equipment and machinery, transportation, regulatory compliance, maintenance and repairs, administrative and overhead expenses, taxes and duties. And the last one is exchange rate fluctuation. What I just want to advise the government is to look at these components that drive the cost of cement in Nigeria, especially the last one that I said, exchange rate fluctuation. Government needs to look into that. And also the regulatory compliance. Those are the two things that can come from the side of the government. And the third one is taxes and duties. Government needs to find a way, because cement is one of the major components in building construction. And we are all aware that we have deficit in housing. Even the Minister of Works is trying to introduce rigid pavement, which component is majorly cement and some other quarry material. So government needs to look into those push factors, the cost push factor that are affecting the cost of cement. Number one is the exchange rate, the taxes, and then regulatory. For the raw materials, I think our cement manufacturer needs to be sincere with the government, because 65% of the components that you need for cement manufacturer are locally sourced. Majorly around among them, we have the silica, we have the lime, we have silica, alumina, and other components. Lime is the major component because lime alone constitutes 62% of cement component, and we have it in abundance. So I don't see any reason why we should be talking of cement, a bag of 50 kg, more than 3,000 in Nigeria, despite the floating of the naira. What government needs to do, like I mentioned, all the 10 factors that determine the cost of cement, I mean, 4 are within the purview of the government. They can give them concession. They treat them like other manufacturers. Give them concession. Let them get exchange rate at the official rate, forex at the official rate. to get the equipment and material, equipment and machinery, and of course the administrative and other overhead expenses. So those are the 10 factors that I know we need to look into without going to the political side of it. But as a quantity surveyor, these are the 10 major factors that determine the cost of cement. Raw materials, energy costs. And don't forget.
Thank you very much, Mr. Adewumi. As we're talking about it, it's like it's just bare talks, but when you open the eyes of the people to see the consequences, probably even the manufacturers themselves will understand what exactly this will cost to us, you know, as a nation, as a people.
Thank you very much. The greatest employer of people usually in any nation in our own situation is the public work department, public work activities. So with a hike in cement, many construction sites will shut down, because even estate development, because the estate developers will have to ask for more money from the subscribers, and where those are not unable to provide additional money, it could even result in litigation, and work will stop. So that is one of the things. But it's not like we are helpless. Every nation has some control on everything that happens. In Nigeria, we have an organization called the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council. It's not just because you feel like you can give prices the way you like. They have the capacity and their authority by law to sit down and engage and say, look, how did you come about this? You cannot be here because these factors that should normally contribute to you coming down with this part have not been properly analyzed and accommodated. So you cannot move. You have to. So, but because sometimes we try to disobey the law and without consequences, some people don't even realize that there's a control mechanism that government has. As far as I'm concerned, that meeting they held with the government was not with the right agency. The right agency that should have had a meeting with the manufacturer should have been the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council, because they have the authority by law and they have what it takes to do an analysis and come to a conclusion. The ministers don't have those information. They don't even have the authority. So we need the council has to come in now.
What do you mean by they don't have the authority?
Because there's already a law. A law says this is what you do. For instance, the law says if I catch a thief, the best I can do is to hand over to the police. I cannot take the thief to court. So even if I catch, I have to hand it over to the police. So if I can point the thief to its police, is it not easier for me than for me engaging the thief and getting bruised?
No, in this case, you're not talking about thief.
No, I'm giving it because there's a law. There's a law. It's Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Council. It's an institution created by law. They even have their own, like a panel. They have a tribunal that this matter can be taken to the tribunal where they will give a ruling that is binding. So it's not like anybody can do whatever he or she likes in Nigeria. So they should go there. They should intervene at this point now and give us a realistic price for the cement. But what they are calling now, because if you see the increment, it started after 1 week it will increase. For what are the things changing? Because the truth is, honestly, it's quite painful to me.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. This is still Nigeria Today. We're going to take a break here and hit the streets and hear what Nigerians are saying about the price of cement, as put together by our correspondent Abdul Wahab Suleiman. Don't go.
Well, there's a contradiction with the price. The normal price we've been buying as of yesterday, it was 10,500 in other places. Other places like 915, 9,500, as the case may be. Though today's newspaper from the Tribune, the Blueprint I read, They said 10% has cut off from what the government has said with the meeting with the presidency, Boa and Dangote. So the price has come down from the paper price of 700 to 800 per 7,000 to 8,000 per bag of, that's 50 kg of cement.
It's 10,000, 11,000. Even last week, my friend bought it in Abuja here, Guarafa. Abuja, Kogi here, it has cement.
House rent is rising. Landlords are not even smiling about it because when things go up in Nigeria, the market prices also skyrocket.
The solution is for government to have some pricing policies in place, ensure that the price of cement have a particular amount of threshold where it should not exceed them. Because if you look at it overview, it's certainly going to affect the prices of housing in Nigeria. And given the state of the economy, I mean, there's going to be very, very serious chaos if not properly checked.
People buying in bulk, they should stop distributing to people that are buying in bulk. So I believe all these things are the cause of increase.
Immediately this cement ad, my landlord just called me that he have increased his rent house. I don't know other the increment of house rent. How is it relate to adding of cement and everything? So he add the house rent, and I asked him why. He told me that everything is going high and the thing is affecting the economic, his school fees is going high, everything is going high. So you have to add the house rent for him to be able to pay his school fees.
Welcome back. This is Still Nigeria Today, and I have with me, we're talking about regulating the price of cement, and we have two guests with us. One via Zoom and of course one here in the studio. Now, Adewumi, you heard quite a lot of things people are saying there, how it has affected a lot of things, the rent of people, and quite a lot of things that have been mentioned. Now, tell us, what, in your opinion, do you think should be done to ensure that we have, the price increase is mitigated? Because quite a lot of people are even expressing concern on the one that has just been mentioned, the 7,000 to 8,000. Some of them are expressing a lot of concern, one of which is the quality of production. Some say, will it affect the quality of production? How can we ensure that there's no compromise in the quality of the cement? And how can we ensure that it goes further, lower than it is, since we have the raw materials here in the country?
I think, like my distinguished president of Koren said, I think there's no regulation in Nigeria in the built environment. Government need to step up regulation. Now, I think that meeting that the federal government had with the manufacturer, did they discuss about the templates, costing templates that were used to determine the cost of production? Like I've mentioned, the 10 factors that is pushing, that determine the cost of producing, cement. What government should do, the regulatory aspect, government needs to look into the costing template, and again see how government can come in now. Because if you look at it, Nigeria has the highest cost, for cement in Africa. So I don't know why that one should be the case, despite the fact that we have 65% raw materials locally sourced. So there's need to regulate. And this one now brings me to the cost of housing in Nigeria. I think the mortgage system, we need to look into the mortgage system, whereby all developers, we key into the mortgage system, and from the inception, you will know the cost of producing housing unit, so that government can now come in and regulate the rent. I think there used to be rent tribunal in Lagos, sometimes some years ago. You cannot just take advantage of the cost of the macroeconomic variables. The property that you have 10 years ago, you are now increasing the rent arbitrarily. Government needs to look into that. There must be regulation in that. Now back to the issue of regulating price of cement. We've said government needs to come in and bring in the professionals so that they will now look at the cost template. What is the production cost of a bag of cement? And government can now come in terms of intervention. If they need to give them a forex at official rate that will cushion the effect, make sure that there is available material, give them licenses to operate, mining of the lime, which is the major component of the cement. These are the cost factors that the government can come and to stem down the production cost. And also,
we'll bring in Kashim Ali here now. Okay, like the national chairman of the Cement Producers Association of Nigeria had said that some of the reasons why this price is going up is like it's not really open to the manufacturing of cement. It's not open to quite a lot of persons. I want you to come in to talk about this. And of course, with the agreement that has been reached by the manufacturers and government, how can the government ensure compliance, because they've reached an agreement now that the price should be, even though the manufacturer says they should be given 30 days to ensure that that happens. So how do they ensure compliance, so at least the agreement, the price that they've agreed on?
Well, it's a bit difficult because they too, they have, given some conditions which they know will not be easily met by government. So even if they will be met, it can be within 30 days. All those things. So for me, I believe that the intention is not to really bring down the price. But there's an agency of government that has a responsibility to interrogate all their cost centers, agree with them or disagree with them, and they rule. And that becomes legally binding. That in the event that there's a violation, they could be arrested and taken to court and jailed or something, or punished severely. So that is where I'm coming in. So we cannot rely on the subsisting agreement has no provision for enforcement.
I agree with you.
So I'm saying, no, I'm not even saying. Okay. So I'm told that they are too big to get into that discussion. They should have allowed the agency on the ground.
I understand what you're saying, Engineer Kashim, but right now they've really passed that level. You said that should have been done before.
No, it can still be done.
Oh, okay.
So
what should be done right now to ensure that we have compliance with the agreement on ground, and even work towards bringing the price of cement down?
The agency commission has professionals who are experts. They will analyze all these things, and they could come to a price even lower than what they have agreed now. It could, and once they agree on that, it will be final and implementable. You can't give. They will look at all the issues, and anything they come up with is final. It's by law. It's binding on them. That is the point I'm making. So the only recourse we have now is to ask the agency responsible to come in, go there, all the things they say they hide, they can't hide anything from them. They have a right to enter and see your books and see everything. And they have experts in those areas to say, okay, you say you are doing mining lime at this rate now because of, so what caused that increase? You are doing this at this, what caused the increase? So they look at it. There's areas, maybe you have taxes, have the taxes increased? If they have taxes, then you can ask government, please, can you reduce their taxes? There are things that government can do which are necessary. But the ones they are asking for, my own problem is the ones they are asking for, is that they are asking for the ones that are not possible. So they can use as excuse to go back to 15,000 maybe. Yeah, but that's the point I see. And also I see something, because normally, if you are going to have patronage as a trader, for instance, you normally lower your price. Even the local traders in the market, if you are going to buy in bulk, the price you get will be different from the one who are buying singly. So now government is considering doing massive construction of rigid pavement, which would demand have a high demand of cement. So why is the price going up at this time? So I have my suspicion.
Could it also be as a result of the market forces?
You know, which market forces? People
demand.
are looking for money to eat now. So individuals are not building. So it's still the government. So now if it will lead to the high increase in construction costs, and then the government may not be able to implement some of these projects. That's why the government should see from that part. Why will you increase your price at the time we're trying to patronize you? Secondly, we have created cartels without knowing when we sold the cement plants to people.
Thank you very much, Kashim. This is that's it on Nigeria Today. Before we go, we thank our guest, Engineer Kashim Ali, former President, Council for Regulation of Engineers in Nigeria, COREN, and also the former President, Nigerian Society of Engineers, NSE. Thank you so much for your time. And also the Quantity Surveyor, Adewumi Akinkelu, former Secretary General, Nigerian Institute of Quantity Surveyors, NNIQS, and also Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of QSM Integrated Services Limited. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us. And thank you for being part of the program. I'm Eukaria Clinton. Goodbye.